Okay, so guys, let's begin quickly with our today's lecture. So, last lecture I gave you some introduction about arrays. We did not learn arrays in detailed manner. It was just an introduction that was given, and some introduction about for loops had given. What is a for loop? Okay, some example I'd given it. Now let us continue from here further, and we will understand for loops in a more clear manner. So in order to understand for loops, I'm going to take a very simple requirement. The requirement is going to be something like this. So let's assume the user will enter the pin number 1234 ATM machine, and in the ATM machine now, if the user enters this pin number 1234, then it should print okay welcome and stop the program, because that's a valid pin number. If the entered pin number is a valid pin number, it is 1234, it should print welcome and stop the program. But suppose the user enters the pin number which is invalid. For the first time he entered invalid pin number. It should give a message invalid pin number. Second time also entered invalid pin number. Again it should now print invalid pin number, try again. Third time again invalid pin number is entered. Then it should give a message your card is blocked, which means maximum 3 times you can enter the invalid pin number. And if you enter valid, print welcome and stop. Invalid, maximum 3 tries. All 3 times invalid pin number, card is blocked. Are you understanding, everyone? Yes. Now, firstly, I'm going to use your for loop because the complete requirement very clearly mentions that the number of time a user can enter the pin number is 3, which is very clearly given. Maximum number of times pin number can be entered is very clearly mentioned. When the number of times to run the loop is very clearly mentioned in your problem statement, go with for loop. When to go with for loop? When to go with for loop? When the number of iterations, how many times a loop should run, that is very clearly given in your problem statement. Go with for loop. Like in this problem statement, how many times I have to run the for loop? Maximum times, tell me. 3. 3 times it has to run. Very clearly it is mentioned. I'll go with for loop. So let's try to implement this example now. So let me close this all. Let me close this all. Let's close this. And then I will now right click, delete this B, that's no longer required. Open this class A, and here I will firstly create a scanner class object. Okay, is equal to new scanner, and we will type here system dot in. System dot in. Is this clear? Scanner scan is equal to new scanner system dot in. Now the next thing, I will create a for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, which means the loop will run from I is equal to 0 to 2, 3 times. Do you agree with that? Now the next thing is, I'll not write this scanner class inside for loop. If I do that, scanner object will get created 3 times. So I will not write the scanner class object inside the for loop. If you write the scanner class inside the for loop, then the scanner object will be created 3 times. Be careful. Object of scanner should be created only once. But now here, I'll write down SYSO, enter the pin number, enter the pin number. And then I will here use scan dot next because it's a number. It's an integer value. I'll take that into the variable pin number. Is this clear? Next int it should be. Okay. And then I will simply compare. If pin number double equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you do a comparison, we use double equals, not single equals. Okay. If this has 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, then it will print welcome. So it will print what? Welcome. It will print welcome. Okay. Else it is going to be SYSO invalid pin number. Invalid pin number. Is this clear? Invalid pin number. Analyze the program so far what we have done here. Check this out. Okay. But now the program, let me put a breakpoint here. Okay. And let's see what happens. Or let us put the breakpoint here. Double click and remove. Let's run this in debug mode. Let's run this in debug mode. Fine. Now we are stopping at for loop. Value of I 0. Step over. You can see that now. Enter the pin number. Enter the pin number. Okay. Enter the pin number. You can see that value of I is what? 0. You can go to this variable section and you can see what is the value of I here while debugging. Okay. So now observe. Enter the pin number. I will just step over. Okay, so I'll enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit on enter. So once you hit on enter, 1, 2, 3, 4 got stored in it. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. When I step over, you see pin number got the value 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are comparing. What are we comparing? The pin number equals 1, 2, 3, 4. We are comparing it now. Upon comparison, is it valid? Yes, because it is true, it entered and prints welcome. After printing welcome, we will not go to the else part. But again the for loop is running. For loop should stop, right? After printing welcome, it should stop. Is it stopping? No. This time, the value of I has become 1. You step over, enter the pin number 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, step over, prints welcome. Then again the for loop. Look at that. Again the for loop runs. And this time, what is the value of I? 2. Now again, you're printing here 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the value 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit on enter. Again, welcome. And this time, the value of I is what? 3. The loop stops. But the problem is, it is printing welcome how many times? Huh? It should not print 3 times. How many times you should print welcome? Once and stop. So what I'll do now, I will put here a break keyword. Break keyword can be used only inside your loops and switch case statement. Only 2 places break keyword can be used. Either it has to be inside a for loop. If you're using a break keyword, it has to be inside a for loop, while loop, do while loop, or switch. Otherwise, it will not work. If I use a break keyword outside the for loop, see, read this. Cannot be used outside a loop or a switch statement. We don't know what is switch statement. So be careful about it. Okay. Now after adding break, you know what will happen? Observe, again we will debug. Again we will debug. Run this in debug mode. Okay. Observe. I will now step over. Enter the pin number 1, 2, 3, 4. Step over. Right. Enter. Step over. Welcome. Now what is running? Now see, when the break keyword runs, the complete for loop stops. Did the complete for loop stop? When this executes, the for loop stopped abruptly. So what is break keyword doing? It will exit your for loop, right, when the break keyword runs. So how do I come out of the for loop? Is by using a break keyword. Is this part clear? Everybody got this part? Any doubts? Any questions, doubts? Do you have it here? No. Now the else part, let's run this in normal mode. 1, 3, 4, 5. What is it printing? Invalid. How many times I can enter invalid pin number? Second time. Then third time. But after the third time, because whenever it is invalid, which block it is going to? Else block. It's going to else block. Yes or no? You can see this here. See, I will now start. Okay, the debug mode. Let me start in debug mode. Okay, observe now. Okay, I'm going to enter now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit on enter. Which block is it going to? If. True or false? If false, goes to else. Now in else, what are we printing? Invalid pin number. Again, see, enter the pin number. Right? Again, false. Goes to else part. Second time it went to else part, right? So what is the value of I now second time? 1. The value of I is what? 1 second time. Now step over. Fine. Once again. Enter the pin number. Some invalid pin number. Now this time again it goes to else part. What is the value of I? Which means when the value of I is 2, the third time you have entered the else part. Do you agree with that? When the value of I is equal to 2, third time you are entering the else part. So can I do this now? Can I put here inside else one more if condition? When the value of I is equal to 2, third time also you entered invalid pin number. And let us print now, card is blocked. Card is blocked. Okay, card is blocked. Make sense now? Everyone? So when third time you enter, value of I is becoming what? 3. Let's run in the normal mode. Invalid pin number, I was 0. Invalid pin number, I was 1. Invalid pin number, I is 2. Since it is 2, line 17 is true. What it will print? Card is blocked. Card is blocked. Makes sense? Everyone, did you understand this part now? Yes. Analyze the code. If yes, we will proceed further. Okay. Done. Continue. Everybody observe the code. Okay. So with this now, okay, one example on for loop was taken. We'll take more examples on for loop. So I want to print the numbers in reverse way, right? Let me just use IntelliJ here. Debugging is same. But this debugging interface is little bit more good in IntelliJ. Okay, IntelliJ debugging interface is better than Eclipse. So what I'll do now, I will write here I value is 10, and then as long as the value of I is less than is greater than 0, then you do I minus minus. So the loop will go like this: 10 to 1. We'll make this 5. 5 to 1. You can see this here. Put a breakpoint here. Okay, right click and run that in debug mode. Is this clear? Now see the loop. What is the starting value of I? What is the starting value of I? 5. Is 5 greater than 0? You can just check this here. Select evaluate expression. Okay, cannot find the local variable I because that's not yet been initialized, I think. So let's step over. Observe what is the value of I? 5. Is 5 greater than 0? True. So what is it printing here? 5. Step over. Now what is the value of I? It was 5 minus minus. Now this will become 4. Did it become 4? 4 less than 0. Next it will become 3. Then 2. Then 1. 1 minus minus 0 less than 0 false. So it's not printing 0. It's printing only, right? It's printing only 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll teach you debugging in IntelliJ later. Okay? But now understand here. What if I write down greater than or equal to 0? Then it will print. I hope this part is clear. Everyone got this part? Any doubts, questions, queries? Do you have it here? No. Now let's start with while loop. Let's understand now the concept of while loop now. So while loop should be used when you don't know the number of iterations well in advance. I don't know how many times to run the loop. Now when you don't know how many times to run the loop, we will use while loop. When we are not aware of how many times to run the loop, we will use while loop. So again in the while loop, we'll start with a condition variable. Then we will use a while and check the condition. As long as the value of x is less than 3. Is less than what? 3. Or yeah, is less than what? 3. As long as it is less than 0 less than 3, true. 1 less than 3, 2. 2 less than 3, 2. 3 less than 3, false. Now we are going to write here x. Now see, if I run this loop, can you see that? When I now run this, can you see that? What's going to happen here now? It has just entered into an infinite loop. It has just entered into an infinite loop. Can you see that? Continuously printing 0. Why? Why is it continuously printing 0? Because this condition is not changing. The value of x 0 less than 3 true. It prints 0. Again 0 less than 3 true. Again print 0. 0 less than 3 true. We did not change the condition variable. Now I am changing it. Can you now see in the debug mode what's happening? First let me run in the normal way. 0, 1, 2. Debug mode. Let's run this in the debug mode. See this here. Observe. Observe. What is it printing here? True. Right? What is it printing? True. So 0 less than 3. What is x? 0. 0 less than 3. What is it? True. So what is it printing? 0. Now see. It is 0 plus plus. So again when you come back here, x will become 1. 1 less than 3. True. Again it prints 1. 1 plus plus. So again this will become 2. What is it? True. If true, print 2. 2 plus plus. The loop will stop. Did you understand this now? Changing the value of this variable x has to happen. and if you don't change that value, infinite loop you will enter into. Okay. Now when do we use while loop is when we don't know the number of iterations well in advance. When the number of iterations you don't know well in advance, we guys are going to use what? While loop. So let's take one example quickly in order to get more clarity. In order to get what? More clarity. Let's do that now. So let's assume you will now go to a ATM machine and you will enter the amount 500. After you enter 500, you will collect the cash. Then you will get a message, do you want to continue again? If you now type yes, the loop will run again. As long as you type yes, the loop will keep running. It's only when you type no or you select the option no, the loop will stop. Here, how many times the loop has to run is not defined. Is it defined like earlier example? Earlier, entering invalid PIN number maximum 3 times was defined. But now here, when we are talking about, okay, the number of times the loop should run is not defined. So in this case, we will go with what? While loop. So let's do that now. I will change this to string variable. And we will now give the condition here. We'll just call this as CDN. And by default, I'll keep the value yes. Now, I will compare CDN dot equals. If it is equal to yes. If the value present in this equals to yes. I will cover string class in depth manner later. For now, just understand, comparing a string, we use equals method, not double equal. We should use equals method when you're comparing a string. So yes equals yes, true. And if it is true, enter the amount. So let's use a scanner class. Scan is equal to new scanner class. And let's type here system dot in, and then use this scan object here. So we'll just type we'll just type here enter the amount. Enter the amount. Enter the amount. Is this clear everyone now? And now we are going to type scan dot next int. Okay, and we'll take that into the variable int amount. Int amount. Is this clear? And we'll just mention here, please collect the cash. Please collect rupees. Yesterday we have studied about concatenation, no? So anything you add to a string, complete line will become a string. So this is a number, this integer. But upon adding integer to a string, everything will become a string. Now see, the CDN value is not changing. So this will enter into an infinite loop. This will enter into what? An infinite loop. Observe here. If I now run this, okay, it like ask me enter the amount 500. Not here, here. 500. Observe. 1000. Is the loop starting? Stopping? Is it stopping? Why it entered infinite loop? Why it entered infinite loop? Because the value of CDN is not changing anywhere. It is always yes. Is this value of CDN I'm changing anywhere in program? Observe and tell me. Anywhere in the program, am I changing the value? Please observe and tell me. Online students, observe and tell me. Yes. Anywhere is the value of CDN changing? Not changing. If the value of CDN is not changing anywhere, then you have entered infinite loop. Somewhere we have to change the value of CDN to stop the loop. We have to make this condition false somewhere. Only then the while loop will stop. How do I make the condition false? So I'll again put one more statement. Okay, do you want to continue? Do you want to continue? And we'll give here yes/no. An option to change the value of CDN. How to change? CDN, which is a string variable. To that, I will take a string input now. So at this line, I can change the value. Let's see this in debug mode. Okay, let's put a breakpoint. Run this in the debug mode. Let's understand now when we are running this in debug mode. Let's see this here. Okay, so firstly, see what is the value of CDN? Yes. You're comparing this yes with yes. What is it giving? True. Since true, enter. Now it'll ask you enter the amount. Okay, so let's enter the amount. Are you understanding now? I did not enter the amount here. Enter the amount. Enter the amount. Okay, so we will have to stop this here and again run this in the debug mode. Okay, somewhere I missed that window. See now, it's 2, correct? Now, let's see this here. Enter the amount. What is the amount now? 500. Step over. Let's go back here. 500. Okay, enter the amount. Mhm. I'm seeing here some trouble, some trouble. Some trouble here. I'm seeing it, right? So let me shift that here. Let's find that out what went wrong. So let me now put a breakpoint here and let's try to debug. Let's see this here. Okay, it's not taking the input. I don't know for what reason. I'm giving 500. It's not taking the keyboard inputs there. It should take. Could be, some services not working or what went wrong. I don't know. But let's see this here. Now see, this is true. Because it's true, you will enter the loop. Do you see that now? Enter the amount 500. Can you see that now? Now hit on enter. Once you hit on enter, now see, please collect 500. Is it printing? Now, do you want to continue? Next, it'll ask me question. I'll say yes. So now what's happening? The CDN is again getting the value. Yes, hit on enter. Step over. Now see, since I typed yes, the loop again runs. Enter the amount 1000. Hit on enter. Next, collect the amount 1000. Do you want to continue? No. Hit on enter. Now see, this condition will become false. And once it is false, the loop will stop. Did you understand this now? So do you want to practice this much? Huh? Don't look at the time. If you look at how much time I'm taking lectures, right, you will all be then gauging the lecture based on time. Don't do that. You have to understand our speed of covering the syllabus is very fast, because in 23 classes already 4800 lines of notes are covered, which people are not observing. See, we are already here 4000, right? This example has been taken. We are already here 4337 lines of notes are already covered in the 23rd class of what? Java. So you are going at good speed. Okay, classes duration will vary depending on how much student can take for that day. Is this clear? Practice well, guys. Best of luck. Okay, see you again the next class tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not giving any holiday. Classes will go on.